Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing: single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today we have a special show where I'm going to be talking about Bourbon Zeppelin being officially retired. My name is Steve Akeley. Welcome to the show. Hey gang, what's up? So just me here today, and I think I'm going to do a series of these type of shows as, again, I've talked about semi-retirement. The first thing that comes up is Bourbon Zeppelin. So 10-year anniversary of Bourbon Zeppelin today, first published back on June 1st, 2016. And it's been a great run. It really has. It's been incredible for me. I'll get into how it got started, why I did Bourbon Zeppelin, what I think it means to the company, all that kind of stuff. We'll do the whole history of Bourbon Zeppelin. And again, I think I'm going to do these as we come up on the retirement or flagship sunset days. I should say sunset days, not flagship. The sunset days on all of these entities. Other than the Bourbon Daily itself, we'll just have a show. I think we're already kind of working on that, what that's going to look like, the last Bourbon Daily show and stuff like that. So that's going to be really fun, I think. But for this one, it is just going to be me talking to you guys. So in terms of what it's been like, announcing the retirement, it's been crazy. I mean, you get everything from people can't believe it to people being happy for you to people being in denial about it. That type of thing. People, wanting to know why I'm retiring. Why would I do this? And I get that. To me, I'm doing something that's never been done before. But I also have done things differently than everyone else. I literally, came up with this idea of, starting this media company that encompasses multiple forms of media. Now there's other people doing it these days as well. But when I started back in 2016, it was not commonplace to have someone who wrote books, who did, podcasts and newsletters and all these type of things. I was the first one to really kind of do that, multiple media things. And it's, this has been my job. Unlike most people, it's just a side gig and kind of fun activity that they do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, it's been the way that I've made my living for the last decade. So it's been really a good run with this stuff. But I also realize that I'm trading my time for dollars at this point, for dollars that I don't need. It'd be different if, I had to make a house payment based on the fact I still had the podcast in the store and all those type of things, but I don't. I've, spent a lifetime with my wife, the warden, preparing for early retirement. And our goal was to both retire at age 55. That has come and gone. And, not that long ago, that was still on track to do it. But the store thing came up. So when the store comes up, It just seemed like an opportunity that was too good to be true. That, an opportunity to finally get into retail, something I wanted to do anyway, to utilize my contacts to do something that's never been done before, to do something totally different. So that's on par with what I like to do. And it could be something that we could work, for a while till it was established. That was the goal for Jim and I. Jim Fosnot, my business partner, who helped launch the barrel shop with me. And the idea was then, once we got stabilized, once we had a good customer base, and it wasn't about us being there every day, we could, semi-retire and both still own the shop. But, and what I like, the example that I like to give is, I was planning on moving to Florida. Jim also was planning on either moving to Florida, or he had a brother-in-law who was going to be getting a place in Florida. The brother-in-law's his plans changed as well. He ended up not moving to Florida, but that was going to be his plan. So Jim and I had talked, and we thought this would be good. We both want to kind of semi-retire, but we can have the store. And one of us can always be there as the managing partner overseeing operations. I might go, being me, I might go to Florida for 2 months. And then when I come back, then Jim could go for 2 months. And then, there's one of us overseeing operations that's there. Obviously, we'll have other employees, but, there'll always be an owner around, whether or not they're at the store all the time. You don't have to always be at the store to manage the store, but you're close. We'd both be in one of us would be in the St. Louis market. And then, there'd be times where there'd be overlap where maybe it's a big event or something like that. We'd both be there. But, when Jim passed away on May 6, 2024, that changed everything. I realized, I'm telling you, on that date, when I got the call from Heidi, Jim's wife, and saying that, Jim had passed away, I knew right then. I talked about to my wife that night that I was going to get out of this business when our lease was up, so July 31st, 2026. Again, had 2+ years to go at that point, and I knew it was going to be hell. I knew it was not going to be easy, and I knew it was going to be bad for me and my wife. I knew that this is going to be a tough road. It's not going to be easy. But, that's what Jim and I committed to do, and the store wasn't where we wanted it to be when he passed away. And I thought, I still believed in the vision. I believed we could get there. And thankfully, exactly that did happen. Things have gone great. We've, really turned things around, and the store is a force to be reckoned with. It's recognized for excellence in the local market and around the continental U.S. and even the world. We have customers who come in when they're in St. Louis on business. We're not having anybody fly in from out of the country to come directly to see us, but we do have people that are from out of the country come in. One of our regulars, I'd say he's a regular. He's here 3 or 4 times a year. Is a guy named Michael from Germany that comes in. And, he coordinates everything. Says, hey, this is the date I'm going to be in. And, we get all pumped up. And he has a plan as to what he wants to try because he follows our newsletters and things like that. And he comes in and usually buys quite a few bottles. So he's been a great customer. But, Bruzel helped certainly on the domestic side. We still get, I'd like to say, probably 10 people a week at least that come in because of that. So it's been a great ride, and but I have to get back to having a personal life. So that's been very important to me, this idea that, hey, I earned a retirement. I don't want to give it up just so I can, continue to be whatever, someone who's involved in the bourbon industry or someone who just wants to keep busy or what. I want to enjoy life, and I don't really have that opportunity being a full-time owner of a store that's open 7 days a week, nor do I have that type of time when I have a media company where, podcasts come out 7 days a week and, newsletters come out every week and a bigger newsletter twice a month. It's just not possible. So it's not sustainable. It's not good for me on a personal basis, I don't think, to, work that hard anymore. I think I want to step back. I want to continue to do some cool projects and things like that keep me relevant in the world of bourbon. But I also want to be able to do that where I can manage the schedule. Right now, the schedule manages me. It's just the way it is. When you have things that have to be set, on certain dates, and the things that are open 7 days a week, you have to be there. So this is going to be great for me. And this is the first thing. It's kind of an emotional thing for me that Bourbon Zeppelin's going away. A decade is a long time. And you're talking about over 250 issues of that went out. It comes out twice a month. And it meant a lot to me. This was an important publication. The fact, I often said it's a phenomenon that I don't even really understand how well I've been able to do it. Because you think about everything that happens to you. You get sick, you go on vacation. Over a decade, a lot of things happen. There's a lot of big events and things like that. And this juggernaut has to go out there. You have to make arrangements. I know we're in the middle of a big family vacation on the 15th of the month, but I got Bourbon Zeppelin going on. I'm going to have to, step it up and get that done and ready to go before that. And so you have to think about these things all the time. But I'm proud to say that every issue was delivered. We never missed an issue or skipped an issue or, took a vacation from an issue. It was always published on time for a decade, and I think that's admirable for sure. So today is all about that. We'll like I said, we'll do special shows over each of these entities as they come up. Today is all about Bourbon Zeppelin, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about Bourbon Zeppelin. How did I get started with this? How did this thing become a thing? And do I think it was important in what I did? And what do I think about it going away? We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show.
This is Kyle Neely. I need to go home and wiggle my mouse. You're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It's Colonel Steve here at my home studio, and I'm talking today about Bourbon Zeppelin. Bourbon Zeppelin, believe it or not, I don't know that it's the most popular thing that I do. If you asked people that were into bourbon or part of the ABV network and what they follow me for or why they like me, I think Bourbon Zeppelin would be down on the list, but that's okay. It's incredibly important to us. It gave us validity, I feel. Again, I didn't have a blueprint for any of this. I just was flying by the seat of my pants what I thought was the right thing to do. So in 2017, or 2015, I guess, I came out, yeah, it was 2015. I came out with a book that was about, cocktail recipes, and did really well around Christmas of that year. And I thought, now that I'm an author who has a bourbon book that, was incredibly successful, like the number 2 or 3 ranked thing. If you searched just the term bourbon on Amazon Christmas season of 2015, it was the 3rd thing to come up. That's huge for somebody who, an independent publisher, no publishing team behind them, no big publishing house doing the work for them. Just one individual. That's amazing, and it's been a gift really for me. I like to say it paid for a bathroom remodel, that type of thing. It generated enough income to make a difference in my life to some degree. Not like I'm rich or anything like that, but it was a big deal. So, coming off of that, I felt like, man, maybe that's the first thing where I thought bourbon could be for me. I never thought I knew enough about bourbon. I didn't think I could, when you got writers like Chuck Cowdery and Mike Veach in there, a couple of people that I really admired, I didn't feel like there's ever a place for me to be in the world of bourbon media. So when that came out though and was successful, I thought, wow, I've got a story here now. I've got a win, and I think I want to do this writing thing. That was the first thing. I want to be a writer. So, and I like to say that based on my dad, old school, had always told me, if you want to be successful, you want to get a job, you want to do anything, you send out. This is old school. We don't do resumes like we used to, but, when I started working, you would send out a paper resume, and he said the number was 100. You send out to 100, you're going to get a job. That's how you get a job. So I thought, I'll apply right into 100 different blogs, magazines, newspapers, those type of things, and someone, and maybe multiple ones, will hire me as a staff writer. This will be cool. I mean, I've got a successful bourbon book. I've got the resume at this point, right? Top selling author on Amazon, and I didn't get no interest. Not one person said, "Hey, appreciate you writing to us. We're not interested. Good luck in your future endeavors." Nothing. Not a single person responded to me. So that changed me. This is one of those things where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something different now. I'm going to start my own publication, and there's other people who are kind of hobbyist writers who just want to write. I don't have any ability to pay anybody to be a Bourbon Zeppelin writer because I'm not going to generate any income. There's no advertising in there or anything like that. But I'm going to put out a publication where if someone wants to write, I don't say no to them. If you can follow my rules, which is you have to have your article ready, once a month by a certain date, and we'll go from there. And I started publishing it, and it was very popular, and I decided to go to twice a month. So it was pretty early on. I don't know, month 2 or month 3. I decided it's once a month isn't enough. I need to get more, because I started having people reach out to me and say, "I want to write for you. I want to write for Bourbon Zeppelin." I enjoy writing, but I don't have any outlet. I don't care. I'm not going to get paid. I just want the creative process as an artist to be able to have people read what I write. And that's what I did. And, we've gone through writers. It's not a paying gig. And it also can be more difficult for some people than you think, because, you come in and you got 6 or 8 different ideas. We come out though every month. So I'm the only one who writes in both issues. So for them, it is a once a month process. And, but 8 months in, you're out of ideas. And then it becomes like a job. You're going, oh, all right, I'll get it. Let me work. I'll come up with something. But, you do that a couple months. I can tell when people are burning out. That's, I've been doing this for a decade now, as you can imagine. I have an idea when people are quickly fading away, and that's okay. Again, I never would get mad at anyone or anything like that. They would tell me, I'm going to move on. I get it. You're doing this for free. I'm thankful for what you did. Not mad about what you're not going to be doing in the future. I'm thankful that you helped me along this far. So I love the idea that we were creating original content coming out once a month, free for anybody that read it. The tagline was written for bourbon fans by bourbon fans, and that's truly what we were. We're an amateur publication that came out twice a month. with original content that, was a little bit of everything from tasting and reviews to pairings like with cigars to reviews of visiting places to bourbon history and you name it, personal experiences. It's been incredibly fun to do this, and I've had probably writers for this over the last 10 years. I've probably had, I don't know, probably 35, 40 writers, something like that, come through, and that's amazing. Della Fane, with me the longest. She started, I think, in like issue 2 or something like that, and has been with me ever since. So it's been a heck of a ride with Della. The rest have kind of come and gone. Andrea Holak is a long time one that's written bourbon history, and she came on, I think, in the first year as well, just not quite as early as Della. So, kind of that trio has really been the foundation of it, and it's been great. My buddy Greg from Detroit, who does low-priced bourbon reviews. I love that column. And I love the fact, Greg Schneider, that I got to know that guy because of Bourbon Zeppelin. I mean, I would have never met that guy in a million years. He's up in Detroit. There's no connection to us or anything. And he's an incredibly nice, thoughtful guy that, will include a great note anytime he submits an article. He's always been on time. Again, I think it's just amazing to see. And I do think it's very important. You as the viewer may be like, well, yeah, that's cool. You come out with this news magazine. That's an e-magazine, or newsletter, twice a month. Big deal. It is a big deal. And who noticed was the bourbon industry. That was one of the greatest compliments that here I am. I start this news magazine, and by the way, I did like 6 months of promotion leading up to it. I did it like an old Burma shave ad where I was just like, coming July 1st, and this started in like December of 2025. Coming June 1st, not July 1st, June 1st, Bourbon Zeppelin. And people did like, what is that? What? And I wouldn't respond to anything. I just, and then I put out some of those, the Zeppelin will soon be flying. I'd put a post on social media that said that. And again, people didn't know if it was a bourbon brand coming out. What was I crazy? What was I doing? But I wouldn't say anything. I just kept teasing it until it launched on June 1st, 2016. And, not that far after we got started, I'm just publishing my newsletter. It's the writers and then people that sign up to get the email. That's it. That's what, when it comes out, I promote it on social media. Hey, I've got this newsletter that's coming out, download here or sign up here, and lo and behold, probably 3 months in, Jim Beam reaches out to me. They're not the staff member, but a PR member, and says, "Hey, we've got some new stuff coming out. Would you mind putting that in Bourbon Zeppelin?" I thought, holy cow! Jim Beam, the biggest bourbon distillery in the world, wants to be in the publication that I started. How cool is that? And so that was kind of the start of realizing how important it was, and it always has been. There's a lot of the distilleries that want their stuff in print. They want people to be able to read about it. Podcast is good. YouTube videos are cool, but they also want that medium that gets them in front of people. And Bourbon Zeppelin's been very powerful for that. And I get a lot of compliments from my PR people that, I've been engaged with through the years. They love Bourbon Zeppelin. It's a great publication. So, it's meant a lot to me on a personal basis. It's meant a lot to those that read it and love it. It's very informative. It's a great look at, a decade of activity in the world of bourbon. And I'm very proud of doing this, and it leads to everything else. Ultimately, it would lead to a relationship that allowed me to get into podcasting, a reader of that. It also got me into the movies. Bo Cumberland, the guy that I do the movies with, he was a Bourbon Zeppelin reader and asked me to utilize some of the facts and stuff like that from Bourbon Zeppelin, and we ended up partnering up on stuff. And it's a huge deal. Bourbon Zeppelin is incredibly important. The first thing that I truly did where I was actively involved in the industry. a writer. Are they in the industry? They're not, that's writing books and stuff like that. They're not really in the industry. They're writing about the industry. Bourbon Zeppelin, I was part of the industry. I was working with other entities in the industry. I was curating information about it. I was getting scoop in some cases. It's been an incredible run. I love Bourbon Zeppelin. Is it going away? Yes, it is. Will it come back? I don't think so, but there will be some publications under the name Bourbon Zeppelin from time to time. If I've got something important, it'll come out under that Bourbon Zeppelin name because I want to keep it active. I want to make sure that no one tries to steal my trademark, saying you're not using it. So from time to time, when I've got something going on, I've got the database, the email database still, and I'll just send out something from time to time. And, it'll go out to that database, hey, this is going on in the world of bourbon. It won't be a full-on Bourbon Zeppelin publication like we know it now, but it will be still my means of kind of written communication that I go out with to people, and reach out directly to them. So that's kind of a cool aspect to it, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today as that begins my retirement. The first thing to go away is Bourbon Zeppelin, and I'll miss it, Bourbon Zeppelin, but I'm also looking forward to many years of doing a lot of other cool and different things in the world of bourbon. That's going to do it for today. Again, follow us at abvnetwork.com for our content, including all past issues of Bourbon Zeppelin. You can follow me on social media at Steve Akeley. You can follow us over at abvbarrelshop.com. A reminder as to what's going on there. We have all of our inventory out there. We have events coming up, festivals, and much, much more. abvbarrelshop.com. Give us a 5-star review with comments. It helps new people find the show. And last but not least, patreon.com/the ABV Network. That's going to do it for today. We'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya. Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.